So that shiny new game just came out, New World Aeternum, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game for some first impressions. Keep in mind this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. I played the game for 3 hours, so I'll show some footage of the game while describing it and giving a few thoughts on it. New World came out in 2021 and I never played it. Now it's relabeled as New World Aeternum. This isn't a DLC, but it's not a complete remake either. This is a relaunch of the game with new changes and it coincides with the release of the game on consoles. If you want to specifically know what's changed and what's new versus how the game was before, then I'll be no help to you as I have no idea how it was before. There is multiple modes in this game, a lot of them actually. In-game, in the activity finder menu, I can see several modes here. There's expeditions, mutated expeditions, soul trials, outpost rush, raids, 3v3 arena, elite trials, and season trials. Some of these modes are locked behind level requirements as well. Let's talk about performance real quick. I'm using a 3080 Ti on PC and I had all settings set to 1440p high, not highest. It was set to high by default, so I just left it at that. I did set my textures to the highest though. Also, there's FSR in the game, but I didn't use it. I was just playing natively. My FPS was about 100 to 140, depending on different locations. The game was smooth for me. I had no stutters or crashes. Okay, back to the game now. When you begin, you'll create a character, but before that, there is a scene. Father Russo, who looks like a priest, is talking to Captain Thorpe. Father Russo tells the captain that all he seeks will soon be his, as the island is the island of legend. After that scene, you can now create your character, but the customization isn't that extensive. Also, you can select an archetype here, which is different classes basically. Sword and shield, giant hammer, the magic of life and death, and some more classes. However, even if you select a class, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you choose will only influence the very first abilities and weapons that you get. You'll be able to wear and use any of the weapons in the game, so an archetype doesn't matter too much. The same applies to the trade skills that come with an archetype. You have default proficiencies in each class, but you'll be able to use all of them if you want. I went with the soldier class, which is a sword and shield. I stuck with those weapons as I played as well, but I did pick up a bow and I use that every now and then. After creating your character, the scene resumes with Father Russo and Captain Thorpe. The captain is upset because he says that the father lied to him, as he told the captain nothing of sailing through the gates of hell, which is a giant storm over the water it looks like. Father Russo then says that the island offers something much greater than gold, redemption. The father then opens a box that's shining blue light, and I assume that will allow them to pass through the storm unharmed. However, that does not happen. The storm has red colors in it, and that red infects the minds of people on the ship, controlling them. Captain Thorpe is taken over in order to kill Father Russo. After the father dies, your character will then come out and fight with some of the infected crewmen. The ship then sinks and you swim to shore. Your items will be on shore, and since I'm a soldier class, I received a sword, shield, and helmet. You can then equip your items in the inventory tab. You then fight a few corrupted enemies, and once you defeat them, you'll level up your weapon. Your weapon levels up independently of yourself. Whichever weapon that you're holding and killing enemies with is a weapon that will level up. I focused on sword and shield like I said, but I still leveled up the axe and bow just from barely using them. The first levels are easier though. When leveling up a weapon, you have 3 ability slots that you can fill. The square abilities are the ones that will go on those slots, while the circular abilities are passive abilities, like more heavy attack damage for example. I only unlocked 2 sword abilities over the course of playing, which were a spinning slash and an upward cut. Besides abilities, my default attacks as the soldier class was this: light attack, heavy attack, block, and dodge. The combat is quite simple. The only interesting parts are different abilities as well as being able to change out your weapons for different kinds. I never really felt threatened or in too much danger as I played either. Combat isn't that challenging, at least not for the first 3 hours that I played. So to me, combat is meh, at least so far. It's fine, I guess. You'll then come across Captain Thorpe. He's trying to open that blue box that the priest had, but he can't. He then sees you and you get to fight him. The fight was really easy, but you don't get to kill him. After you defeat him, you walk over to the blue box and it opens on its own. The blue inside the box enters your body. The mysterious voice that controls the red colors is very angry that you took the blue stuff in the box. She appears herself, but is unable to get past your blue barrier. At least I think that's what happens. It's a little confusing there. You then wake up on the beach, which is also a little confusing, but regardless, you're there now. Since this game is an MMORPG, you'll now see a lot of other people all around you doing the missions. But before I did the missions, I took a look through all the menus. There's a lot here, but I'll try to make it quick. The company tab tells you that there's companies and factions and that they control different territories and can wage war against other territories. I had no experience with this as I was very low level and the server I was in was new, but this sounds pretty interesting. The journal tab is your missions as well as tutorials, and also if you come across any papers in the world, they'll show up here in the journal tab under the documents. I found a lot of papers, all of which are random facts and information. I read the first couple and then I just kind of stopped reading them. The mount tab shows you the different mounts that you can ride on: horse, direwolf, wolf, lion, and bear. However, I was too low a level to have a mount, so I never got to. But I did get to teleport a couple times. You can set up and use a few different teleport locations, but I mostly had to run around on foot. The character tab, that's where you level up your weapons and character, and you can see your trade skills here too. There's a lot of trade skills. Then you have the map, which shows different zones, as well as recommended levels for each zone. And then the season tab was locked because I was too low a level. In the game, you can use text chat, and there's several different chat modes that you can use. Also, there's voice chat, and I did hear someone talking nearby at one point. The first guy that you talk to in the game tells you that you died and you have been reborn again. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but if so, then that's kind of crazy. The first few missions are things like crafting a skinning knife, cooking a basic meal, and fighting some corrupted enemies. After you complete missions for people, you'll receive multiple things: coins, ingredients, weapons and armor, and XP, for example. Ingredients can be used for a lot of items that you can cook, and there's also a lot of items that you can craft in this game. I only got to level 15 as I played, and I never crafted anything or used any of my money, but there's a lot of different stations in this game that you can craft items at. For example, there's a forge, loom, stone cutting table, and smelter, to name a few. I feel like a lot of the missions that I did, or most of the missions, are inconsequential and easy, like collect some items here, rescue this person there, or kill these enemies. Killing enemies is quite easy, but it's even easier because everyone else is around you doing the same missions, and they need to kill the same enemies that you do. I found that if someone kills an enemy nearby, you get no XP and it doesn't count, but if you hit the enemy at least once, then when the enemy dies, you'll get XP and it'll count towards the mission. So you could just hit the enemy once, retreat, and wait for others to do all the work. The game is open world, and you can kill animals and skin them, chop wood, mine stone, and collect berries and other items. Eventually, after doing some missions for people around the camp, you'll see a scene about one lady who was controlling the red colored power. She came to the island looking for answers and found knowledge forbidden to people. She saw humanity's true potential. She wants to correct that injustice and restore the power that's rightfully theirs. How that translates to attacking and killing people, I have no idea, but she's also upset because the box that your character opened was supposed to be hers. At least she says so. She says that your soul will pay the price, and then she says that she wants to bring true freedom to the world. Frankly, she seems crazy, and I'm still not fully grasping the story of this game yet. I then made my way to a town, and here I began doing a lot of missions, both main and side missions for people around the town. Also, the town feels quite empty. There's not many NPCs in this game, and also you can buy houses here, apparently. You have to be a certain level first and have enough money, and then after that you'll have pay periods where you have to pay a certain amount in order to upkeep the house. For this particular house I'm looking at, it shows 11,000 to purchase and a 200 pay period. So back to the main mission, you talk to the Knight Regent, who is ruling temporarily. However, there are rumors that the true heir is returning soon, but I didn't experience that yet. The Knight Regent sends you on a mission to check on the nearby mines, but before I did that, I talked to several people around the town and I did their side missions, because all of the side missions are just so easy, so why not? All I did was talk to people and collect items for the most part. I did fight enemies here and there, but honestly every single mission I did, whether side mission or main mission, was just so easy. There was no dire need for your help, and there was no difficult battles to be had. Each area I went to had several people give me missions to either find items or kill some enemies, but none of them left me satisfied. Let me put it this way, I don't dislike this game, it's fine, but I expected more, honestly. Every single mission I've done so far in this game feels like a small side quest in every other game that I've ever played. There isn't a big main mission or a satisfying one, or even a difficult one. I mean, I only played 3 hours, but still. I have a feeling it'll take quite some time to get back to the main story of the game, which seems to be about the red powers and blue powers and that one crazy lady, and I think I'll be stuck doing a whole lot of small missions to get my level up until then. This game just doesn't satisfy me that much, but hey, that's me. I could see others enjoying this game way more than me, especially with a friend group. So overall, I think that this game is average in pretty much all ways, and doesn't stand out to me in any category. I'm a bit bored with this game with how tedious it feels. Is it a bad game though? No, I don't think so. It's fine, and I can see other people enjoying it, but it's just not a game for me, though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you in the next one.